Hi y'all. Today is Tuesday, the 20th, September 20th. And I want to let you all know why my garden videos are not going to be, there won't be many of them. Garden's winding down. There just really isn't a lot to post. Doing yard cleanup now, getting ready for fall, and trying to keep the snakes out of my house. Yeah, that's not fun. I had snakes in my house before. Grabbed one from under the bed. I thought it was one of the kids' toy snakes, and it wasn't a toy. So, just to let you know, I'm not MIA. I haven't fallen off the face of the planet. That I'm still around. Just, unless I feel like I got something I can contribute or put forward, then yeah, my videos will be not as frequent. So, I'm gonna let you in my head. What in the world is going on? Have I lost my mind? Am I going crazy? Eventful couple weeks. Eventful 7 days. So, what's going on with Hillary? I know I've said that before. What's wrong with Hillary? Tell you what, that's not heat exhaustion, that's not dehydration, that's not heat stroke, and it sure didn't look like pneumonia to me. And we'll even go with, that's not seizures. What happened to her on 9/11? Coming from someone who's had first-hand experience in dealing with someone with both partial complex, temporal lobe, and grand mal seizures, and both were because of head trauma, head injury. So, what's going on with her? Where was her stuck like glue, 2 peas in a pod, Uma Abedin? Why was she not there on 9/11? Don't you think that's odd? Because she doesn't leave Hilda's side. She's always with Hilda. So, when I first watched that video, now I have many years in law enforcement as a background. I started out doing hair and nails and part-time modeling, oh gosh, 27 years ago, something like that. And then I got into law enforcement and made a career out of that. I had 2 at the, I still continue to do hair and nails, etc. So many years in law enforcement. When I first saw that breaking news and watched that video, that was the craziest thing, because I said, that doesn't look like any pneumonia or heat stroke, heat exhaustion, dehydration, anything like that I've ever seen. That looked like they were taking her into custody. What is going on? That's crazy. I mean, but I showed Mom, who by the way is getting over pneumonia, and I've had it a few times. So yeah, I showed that video to Mom and let her watch it and slow it down, and she said the same thing. That doesn't look like a seizure. Why isn't she sweating? Why isn't her hair messed? Why isn't she red? And I said, well, watch your hands. Watch when they come up behind her and or come up next to her and they lock arms. Watch her hands are behind her back, not down at her side. Which, if she's having a seizure, I would think they would drop to her sides and not ratchet up behind her back, wrist to wrist. Now if you slow that down and you watch frame by frame, there's like two frames, maybe a second, where both those guys come up next to her and they lock elbows with her, and you see her back and both her hands together. I don't know. That's what it looks like to me, and what the heck? I mean, it is the sickness, the pneumonia. Why didn't she go to the hospital? Sorry, I got loud. Why didn't she go to the hospital? I mean, pneumonia is pretty serious. If that's the story they're going with, how many people die from complications of pneumonia? People that are not as old as her. And she's a former First Lady of the United States. She's a former U.S. Senator. She is a former Secretary of State. And they didn't take her to the hospital to get medical attention for pneumonia? She could have died. Really? What the heck is going on? They took her to Chelsea's? I am like, are we in some alternate reality that, I don't know, people are believing the stuff they're feeding to us. So yeah, isn't that just, go watch that video and slow it down and look at it and see if you see that, because that's sure what I see. And you know, I try not to, try not to get off into, I like conspiracy theories. I think they're great, and I like pondering the what ifs on conspiracy theories. So yeah, go watch that. And then have you noticed her wardrobe? I caught it this morning. Is she on a limited wardrobe? Does she not have access to all her funds to get her $50,000 suits? Her dictator suits. If you go to, let me think, March 10th of this year, she was in Tampa, Florida. And she had her gold and green dictator suit on. Now if you look at her from yesterday, meeting with Poroshenko, and why the heck, yeah, why is she, I don't know, why would she be meeting with Poroshenko and him thanking her? Whatever, she's not our president. She's a criminal. So anyways, Hilda's wearing the exact same thing yesterday that she wore back in March 10th in Tampa. I just find that odd. And it's not a nice suit. It's not flashy or anything. It's very drab. I think it looks like she took some old curtains, thick winter curtains, and had them make it into a suit. You know that whole, what was that, Gone with the Wind? Where they took the curtains and made them into, the drapes and made them into a dress. So yeah, what the heck's going on with that? And you know, I have issues sleeping at night, and I was watching, well, I watch a lot of videos. I try to bore myself to sleep. And I was watching, I was surfing the internet about the whole WikiLeaks and Assange, and had watched Snowden on TV, a documentary, and documentary on WikiLeaks. And so I started researching, you know, doing Google searches and that into WikiLeaks and Julian Assange. And first thing that popped up on my search was, and I'm going to say it was CNN. It was one of the major lamestream medias. It was a breaking story. Julian Assange was offering himself in exchange for Bradley/Chelsea Manning. So yeah, I shared that on Twitter. And then a few minutes later, I couldn't find anything else on it. I kept looking and looking and couldn't find a story on it. So I went back to that link to pull it up to reread what it was saying. It was some totally different story. I mean, the headline was still there when I clicked on the link, but when the page loaded, everything was different. That story was gone. What's going on there? I mean, what? Really? I don't know. This stuff's just getting crazy, you know. And what about these bombings? Okay, doesn't anyone find it odd that Russia was calling an emergency meeting with UN or NATO or whoever, that coalition-led forces just did an airstrike in Syria? I guess breaking the ceasefire and allowing ISIS forces to occupy an area that, or progress into an area that they hadn't had, and what was there, like 60 soldiers killed and 100 or more injured, and Russia's pissed. And at the same time this is happening, they're coming out with the New York, Chelsea, no doubt. Chelsea, New York. Now, if that doesn't send a message, come on, people. Red flags. I mean, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And I'm not usually a false flag believer. I just don't feed off into that. I try to, yeah. But it's odd. There's just not a whole lot being said on the news about Russia being upset with U.S.-led coalition forces doing this airstrike, calling an emergency meeting. Well, then you're bombarded and been bombarded. They just keep finding more of these explosive devices, and oh, now that it's a big deal because Trump said it was a bomb, and well, so did Hillary. Hilda said it was a bomb. Get over it. It is what it is. Anything that goes boom, it's going to be a bomb. At least that's how most people look at it. So, yeah. I just don't, the media is trying to distract people. Distract, distract, distract. I say, we gotta watch the bigger events. And I just don't know what the heck's going on. What do we believe anymore? Who do we believe? Just keep your eyes open. Question everything. Especially where Hilda and our government's concerned. I've learned they're not for us. Washington is a big corporation. It's not a country anymore. It's a corporation. And they're not our representatives. They're not representing us at all. They're throwing us under the bus for the best deals that they can get for them and not for us. Not for the working man and woman. Poor people. So, anyways, my videos will be far and few between. There's a little bit into my craziness that, yeah. How odd is that? So, yeah. Videos will be far and few between. But I'll still be around. I'm not on the moon or in Mars or haven't committed suicide or nothing like that. So don't believe any of that. Have a good day. Have a blessed day. And we'll talk to you later. Oh, thank a veteran. Don't forget to thank a veteran. And remember our boys and girls deployed. Have a beautiful day.